Hi there, thank you so much for joining me once again. My name is Nduta Wambura, and if you're new here, please subscribe. Put your notifications bell on and let's keep growing this community. So for so many of us, me included, sometimes you end up eating your lunch or end up eating your dinner and then you feel the need to have some dessert on the side, and as if that is not enough, you end up sitting in front of your TV, you take a bag of chips or a bag of popcorn, and then you end up eating the whole bag or the whole bowl of popcorn mindlessly while you're watching your TV show. And then what happens is that you feel guilty about it as soon as that bag of chips or bowl of popcorn is over, and you feel out of control and you wonder what just happened to you. You are not alone. I want to tell you that, of course, this is December, and this is a month that we tend to overindulge just a little bit more. We take some more meat, some more potatoes, some more processed food, just because we feel the need to reward ourselves because it is a festive season. So in the end, in January, come 1st of January, you find yourself, you have, of course, a new goal. You want to lose weight. And so what happens? You get to have a challenge or a diet, a new diet, which is perhaps going to assist you in losing all the weight you have packed up during the holidays. And then what happens is you get into the challenge, maybe it's 21 days, 7 days, 30 days. And as soon as that challenge is over, you ask yourself, should I go back to what I used to have? Because this diet or this challenge might have already been restricting you from some certain types of food. And you find yourself in a vicious cycle because you will gain back all the weight, and then, you try to lose it again, get into another diet, and then the story goes on and on and on. So is there any other better way to do this? So today I will discuss a concept known as intuitive eating. And intuitive eating is a concept that was developed by nutritionists and was actually elevated in 1995. And this concept per se has been studied for quite a long time as well to find out whether there are any solid benefits towards maintaining your weight or having a better relationship with food. And so today I will discuss the 10 principles behind the intuitive eating. So first of all, it's important to understand that intuitive eating calls you out to be the judge and the jury about what you are actually eating. And in the first place, I would like to obviously tell you that you will never ever eat anything you have not bought. So what is in your house is something that you chose to buy. So that's the first thing that you need to take care of. Buy what you wanna eat and what you feel that you will never ever feel guilty after consuming. Okay, so the first concept of intuitive eating is to reject the diet mentality. And what that really means is to ensure that you throw out all the diets that you possibly have been thinking of starting, and throw out the mentality that you can only be able to live a healthy life if you are on a diet. So the intuitive eating concept is the anti-diet per se. So which means that, for instance, get rid of books and magazines that tout diets and easy or quick weight loss, and unfollow any social media accounts that propel the dieting myth and diet behaviors, especially those which make you feel so bad about yourself, and instead follow accounts that propel you into proper health and give you the correct messages about nutrition and health for you to be able to live a better lifestyle. The second concept is obviously to honor your hunger. And honoring your hunger means that you need to come to a place where you understand that hunger is not your enemy. So when you feel some hunger pangs, instead of suppressing those, take something, eat something and be able to reach a level of satiety such that you will not end up overcompensating once you sit down to eat. Say you have a very crazy day and you have not had time to eat, you've been suppressing that hunger. When you sit down to eat, when you look at that food, you eat and eat and eat, and then what? You end up feeling so guilty about the much of the food that you ate. If you actually adhered to the hunger pangs and ate something before, then overcompensation does not happen. Okay? The third principle is making peace with your food. This really means calling it a truce with the war in your head about food. The way you think about that, a certain food is good or bad, you categorize it as good or bad. Based on what? So the fact that you need to first understand your body better by taking a test, by taking a body composition test. That way you understand what is actually good for me and what is actually bad for me, instead of just being in the society and simply because the culture has named food A as bad and food B as good, then you go with that. You need to first understand your body composition. That way maybe how many calories should you be consuming, maybe what types of food groups should you be going for to manage that disease condition, and so on and so forth. So make peace with food. Stop labeling real food, of course, as either good or bad, unless of course you are eating processed food more, then of course then you can go ahead and label as good or bad. Those were many of courses. Okay, so let's keep going. The fourth concept is challenge the food police. So again, this ties into making peace with food. So getting rid of ideas about what you should or should not eat, and policing yourself, especially when you're in restaurants, saying, oh, I don't actually consume that, or judging other people when you're in the restaurant as well. This is a concept that you can also take up to ensure that you have a better relationship with food. The fifth concept or principle rather is to respect your fullness. When you feel full, stop. Don't eat more. So it's pretty much being in tune with your body to an extent that when you consume something, when you feel full, just don't keep on going, because we have cultured ourselves to ensure that we finish all the food that we have on our plates. So in the first place, instead of serving so much on your plate, ensure that you're serving the correct portions such that you listen to your body as you consume what you're consuming, and get to the place where you feel full and you can actually stop without being coerced to keep going. If you're in a restaurant, if you feel full, ask the restaurant to pack the rest for you. If you're at home and you feel full, make sure that you can preserve the rest that you did not eat for later. Okay? So the fifth concept is discovering the satisfaction factor. So this is making your eating experience enjoyable and having a meal that tastes good to you. So ideally, we have a culture of eating while we are watching something. So this calls for you to switch off your TV, switch off your mobile phone, and enjoy the food. Ensure that you can consume food without any other distraction. That way you can feel what the satisfaction level is, to an extent that you do not end up feeling so extraordinarily full and guilty. The other concept, which is the seventh concept, is honoring your feelings without using food. So emotional eating is a strategy for coping with feelings, and you need to find ways that are unrelated to food to deal with your feelings, such as taking a walk, meditating, things like journaling, calling a friend. And it is also becoming aware of the times when a feeling that you might call hunger is actually really based on emotions. Okay? The eighth concept is to respect your body. And rather than criticizing your body for how it looks and what you perceive is wrong with it, recognize it as capable and as beautiful just as it is. The ninth concept is exercising to feel the difference. So find ways to move your body that you enjoy and shift the focus from losing weight to feeling energized, strong, and alive. Remember, your body should go for an exercise that you actually enjoy, because exercise is not supposed to be a punishment for what you ate, rather just a celebration of what your body can do. And when you get to that place, then you are able to enjoy exercise even the more. The 10th concept is to honor your health, and this is ensuring that the food you eat tastes good and make you feel good. Remember that it is your overall food patterns that shape your health. So one meal or snack isn't going to make or break your health, really. Rather, ensure that you're also buying into the real food and you are having healthier snacks and healthier food choices. So research on this concept has been ongoing and has largely focused on women, and so far intuitive eating has been linked into healthier psychological attitudes, weight maintenance, and really not necessarily weight loss, okay? But you tend to have a better relationship with food, lower rates of emotional and disordered eating. And intuitive eating is actually something that I would not recommend for someone with a food disorder, okay? And think about it. We are actually all born intuitive eaters. So when you have an infant, the infant cries, you feed them, then they stop eating until they're hungry again, right? And then from week to week, a kid balances out their food intake, and other days they may not even end up eating anything. So as we grow older and we create our own rules in our homes about food, we lose our inner intuitive eater. And mainly because, of the food sources that we have in our countries, okay? So we also quickly learn to finish everything on our plate and binge as a way to reward ourselves for feeling low or feeling that we don't love our bodies. We categorize food as either good or bad, causing us to feel good about ourselves when we eat certain foods and feel very guilty when we eat others. So intuitive eating is therefore something that has actually been scientifically studied, and there are so many studies that have been conceptualized to ensure that you can actually have a healthier relationship with your food. So there you have it. This is a concept that you can use in place of that vicious cycle or challenge that you might want to join in January after consuming so much in December. Okay, I know you have questions, you have comments, so please leave them below. And until next time, remember that you are what you eat, so do it right. Bye.